We're talking about hashtag struggles, following Jesus in a selfie-centered world. Now, like you, I love how we can connect using technology, but I'm about to tell you that too much of it will not only hurt your relationship with God, but it can hurt your relationship with others and distract you from what matters most. Jesus said this, and it's so important. John 13, verses 34 and 35. He said, "A new command I give you, love one another. As I have loved you, so you must love one another." Then Jesus said this, he said, "By this, everyone will know that you are my disciples if you love one another." Notice he didn't say they would know you're my disciples if you've got perfect theology or if you're a member of a church or if you have a lot of Instagram followers, but they would know that you are a disciple of Jesus if you love one another. The most important thing we can do as a follower of Jesus is to love God and to love each other. And yet, with technology, we can actually connect with people that maybe we couldn't otherwise and know more about their lives, but we have to recognize that technology, with all of its benefits, is actually changing relationships. And I want to give you 3 quick ways that relationships are changing because of technology, and then look at what do we do about it so that we can effectively love one another. The first thing is we have to acknowledge that the term friend is evolving. The word friend, the meaning is evolving. In fact, the average adult Facebook user as of today has 328 friends. Yet, what's really interesting to me is the average American only has what they would describe as 2 close friends. 328 Facebook friends, but only 2 close friends. And tragically, 25% of Americans would say that they have no close friends at all. So what do we have? Well, honestly, we've got lots and lots of online activity, but we're now having a little bit more limited personal intimacy. More online activity, but more limited personal intimacy. The term friend is evolving. The second thing is we're actually becoming addicted to immediate affirmation. In other words, if I upload a picture, post a picture, I want to go back immediately and see who liked it, how many people liked it. And what happens is this instant gratification that really stimulates the brain's reward center, releasing a chemical called dopamine. And literally, our brains can't get enough. We post something, we want feedback, we want affirmation, we want a retweet, we want someone to like it, we want a comment. And what experts are saying is now that people actually feel a little bit lonely, so they post something, they get immediate affirmation, but the reality is they're actually deferring loneliness. They want someone to bring meaning to their lives, but all they get is a like, and so it's not really meeting the need, but we're deferring it to a later time. We're deferring loneliness because the online interaction isn't meeting the deep need that we have. We're becoming addicted to immediate affirmation. The third thing is that we have the power to do friendship on our own terms. We can do friendship on our own terms. For example, if you text me, I have the power to respond or not. I can hold it for a day just to send you a message that is not that important or I don't want to hear from you all the time. As I'm scrolling through Instagram, I have the power to double tap and like your pic or to scroll right on by because your picture was not like-worthy. I can comment, I can follow you, or I can unfollow you. And all of a sudden, we've got a lot of people today saying, I've got all this online interaction, but the more I use social media, the more a lot of people are saying I actually crave more personal interaction. Some people would go as far as to say, I'm more connected than ever before, and yet I feel more alone than ever before. What do we do? What do we do when we recognize that we're very, very connected and yet there's something missing? Well, I want to talk to you just for a few minutes about practicing the power of presence, about being engaged and being present with other people. In fact, I like what Hebrews 10:25 says. It says, and let us not neglect our meeting together. Notice it doesn't say, let us not neglect liking pics or commenting, but let us not neglect meeting together as some people do, but let us encourage one another. Let us not neglect meeting together. There's something powerful that happens when we come together with other people. In fact, think about the power of presence. Who is Jesus? Well, one of his names is Emmanuel. What does that mean? God with us. I love that. Who is Jesus? He is God with us. There's something powerful about presence. Jesus is God with us. Think about God. He didn't shout his love from heaven. What did he do? He showed his love on earth. He was with us. There is power in presence. In fact, Paul said in Romans 12, he said, don't just pretend to love others. I could say it today, don't just like a post, but show some love. He said, really love them. He said, love each other with genuine affection and take delight in honoring each other. He said, when God's people are in need, be ready to help them. In fact, I want that verse just to set up 2 points of discussion about how to practice the power of presence. The first thing is very simple. I want to encourage you and beg you to be present, to not just relate thumbs to thumbs, but to relate face to face, to spend time with other people. For example, if you have a friend that's hurting, and we all do at one point or another, how can you really love them? How can you show unconditional love to them? Well, what's acceptable today is to send a text message, thinking about you, praying for you, whatever. What's even better is to pick up this thing. It also makes phone calls, right? And to call them and to listen to them, to hear their voice, and maybe pray for them over the phone. What's even better than that is to drive to see them, to hop on the subway, to get on your skateboard, whatever, and to literally go and to be present, to be face to face, not just thumbs to thumbs, but face to face, because there's something powerful that happens when we get together. Whenever 2 or 3 are gathered together in God's name, he is there with them. There's a big difference between just praying for somebody and praying with them. So I don't know what this looks like for you, but it might mean more time at lunch with other people, like literally getting up and going and sitting across from them, having coffee, being a part of a life group where you're sharing spiritual intimacy with other people, opening up your home, showing hospitality. Be present, be present, be present, be present. And the second thing I want to encourage you to do is also to be engaged. Not just present, but be engaged. Not just physically, but emotionally as well. You see, we've all done this, I guarantee it. You've been at a restaurant or at your house, and what's going on? Everybody around you is on their phone. You're having a conversation, and everybody is simply doing this. It's crazy. Be engaged. Imagine this. Imagine if we're sitting across from each other having coffee, and you're pouring your heart out to me, and I get up and walk across the other room, don't say anything, and just go up to some other person and start talking to them. You'd be like, what are you thinking? Or if I reached into my backpack and pulled out a book and just started reading it for a few minutes and then put it down and came back to talk to you. You think, what's wrong with you? And yet, that's what we do so often. We're having a conversation and our phone buzzes and we just look away and we're engaged with somebody else. Be engaged with the person who is in front of you. See, here's the deal. At the end of your life, what's really going to matter? It's not going to be about how many likes you got, but it's going to be about how much love you showed. So whatever this means to you, think about how you can practically be present and be engaged. Maybe you create some ground rules. At dinner time, the phones go down. Or at small group Bible study, the phones go down. Or literally no phones in the bedroom, certainly no phones in bed. Whatever it would mean to you, think about practically. How can I be engaged? And how can I be present? If you're ever by your spouse in bed and you send a text message and say, are you in the mood? You need counseling and you need help from Jesus. Put the phones down and let's have the honor and the blessing of being present and being engaged. Why? Because Jesus said this. He said, a new command I give to you. Love one another. As I have loved you, so you must love one another. By this, everyone will know that you are my disciples. If you do what? If you love one another. God has given you the gift of his presence through Jesus, and God has given you the gift of people all around you. Connect all day long on technology, but when the time is right, put it down face to face and love one another.